let's talk about something you might not even realize is running your life. I'm talking about patterns. You know, these automatic loops that are constantly humming along in the background, shaping pretty much everything from your happiness to your struggles.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. When you get stressed out, or find yourself reaching for your phone for the 100th time, are you actually choosing to do that? Or does it kind of feel like your brain just takes over? Like it's running a program that you never even signed up for?
And that leads us to this really powerful idea from our source material. Seriously, this quote right here, it's the key to everything we're about to talk about. It suggests that all those things you think are just the way you are, your anxiety, your short temper, your self-doubt, they might not be permanent at all. They might just be skills you've gotten really, really good at. And you know what? Skills can be retrained.
Right, so let's get into our invisible autopilot. A lot of our daily struggles, that anxiety, the procrastination, the negative self-talk, it's not a sign that you're broken or weak. It's just the result of these automatic loops running on repeat. Think about that for a second. That critical voice in your head, or that knee-jerk reaction of anxiety when something goes wrong, that might not actually be you. It's a neural circuit that has been practiced so many times, it's become automatic, almost like a reflex. It's just a habit, but it's disguised as your destiny.
Okay, so if these are just well-practiced patterns, how in the world does the brain build them in the first place? Well, it turns out there's a surprisingly simple formula behind even our most stubborn habits.
So first, what exactly is a mental pattern? You can think of it as the brain's ultimate shortcut system. See, your brain is all about efficiency. It wants to save energy. So as soon as it finds a solution that seems to work, bam, it automates it into a loop. And this is how it does it. This is the famous habit loop. It all starts with a cue. Let's say your phone buzzes. Instantly, that creates a craving. Now, you're not craving the phone itself, you're craving a change in how you feel, maybe some relief from boredom. That leads to the response. You pick it up and start scrolling. And finally, you get the reward, a little hit of distraction. And just like that, the whole loop gets stronger, making it even more likely you'll do it again next time.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Your mind basically has two operating systems. You've got System 1, which is your fast, instinctive, emotional autopilot. It runs pretty much everything. Then you have System 2, your slow, logical, deliberate thinker, the one that takes real effort to use. Guess which one is in charge most of the time? Yep, the fast one.
And here's the kicker. Your brain is hardwired to save energy. That means it will always default to the most efficient pathway. This is why just trying harder or using willpower almost never works in the long run. When you do that, you're pitting your slow, energy-guzzling System 2 against a super fast, low-energy automatic habit. It's just not a fair fight.
But, and this is a big but, it's not a lost cause. Not at all. Fighting those old loops head-on is a losing battle, sure. But what if you didn't have to fight them? What if you could just build new ones? Well, thanks to some incredible science, you absolutely can.
And it all comes down to this one amazing concept, neuroplasticity. This isn't some self-help buzzword. It's a fundamental scientific truth. It means your brain isn't set in stone. It can and does physically change itself based on your experiences all throughout your life.
And the rule for how it all works is actually beautiful in its simplicity. You've probably heard this before. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every single time you think a thought or feel an emotion, you're strengthening the physical connections in your brain responsible for that exact thing. You're literally carving pathways.
So I want you to get this idea out of your head that your brain is fixed hardware. It's not. It's more like living software, and it's constantly being updated based on one thing, what you pay attention to. The programmer is whatever you practice, whether you're doing it on purpose or not.
So this presents us with a really clear choice. We can live in default mode, right? Just letting our brain get passively wired by whatever life throws at us, the good, the bad, the stressful. Or we can switch into intentional mode, where we consciously decide where to put our attention and actively become the architects of our own mind.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? It's one thing to know this is possible, but how do we apply it? Well, luckily, the source material gives us a super clear, really practical roadmap for making this happen.
Here it is. It's a path to leading yourself. Now, this isn't a quick fix, okay? This is like mental weight training. First, you just learn to see the pattern. You notice it happening without beating yourself up. That's huge. Then you practice interrupting the loop, even just taking one deep breath between the trigger and your usual reaction. That tiny pause, that's where your freedom is. And finally, you build a new path.
You deliberately practice a different, better response, over and over and over, until that becomes the new automatic.
And this quote just nails the whole idea. Look, having good intentions is great. Being motivated is great. But when life gets stressful, we don't rise to the level of our best intentions. We fall back to the level of our training. What you practice day in and day out is what shows up when it matters most.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your brain is a pattern-making machine. It never stops training. It's learning from what you do right now, in this very moment. So the only real question left is, what are you going to choose to practice?